Hello students, wishing you a prosperous new year. Today we are going to discuss the ocular system. Ocular system means the system through which we can see or visualize, that is eye. So on the screen you can see the ocular system eye. Here is a detailed diagram of eye where you can see at the very first cornea is there. Inside cornea, aqueous humor, then sclera. You can see the iris, the ciliary body which is holding up the lens, the vitreous humor filled inside, the blood vessels, the retina, the choroid, the optic nerve, and the ganglion cells, rod cells and cones. In the further sections, we are going to discuss these in detail. So moving forward, eyes are the most complicated and delicate sensory organ. We all know it is most complicated, as you have seen in the diagram in the previous slide, that how layer wise the structures of eyes are placed. So it is very complicated really, and rod and cone cells are very small. An eye is only an inch in diameter. Diameter means the circumference is only 1 inch. Eye helps to visualize or see what's happening around us. True? We can see through our eyes what is happening all around us. An eye works as a camera. Right? How the camera works? The light enters into the camera and the photo is clicked. Fine. So right here also the light enters into the eye and an image is formed and it is memorized by the brain forever. The lens of the eye focuses on the incoming light and changes it into an image with the help of retina. What happens? Lenses of eye can focus on the light and accordingly it changes its length and again come into the position, and through this it can forward an image which is reflected on the retina. An eye has following components. First of all, the sclera, as you have seen in the first diagram. Here you can see the detailed. This is the white portion, sclera. Here in the diagram you can see the eyeball, which is white in color, is a sclera. The layer. The sclera is dense connective tissue. Fine. Sclera is a layer only and it is made up of dense connective tissues, a kind of tissues which are very sensitive. They are called connective tissues and they are very dense. Fine. It is made up of you can go back to the diagram and you can see that sclera is a layer and this layer is made up of connective tissues, like you can see here. It is in the eyeball. Fine. It's white in color. You can see it is white in color. That forms the white looking part of the eye and covers 80% of the surface area of the eyeball. Fine. The whole ball, 80% part of the eyeball is white and that is because of sclera. It starts from cornea here and ends at the optic nerve behind at the back of the eye. We can see only a small portion of the anterior sclera. Fine, we can see the part or portion of the sclera. Moving forward, second is conjunctiva. You can see in the diagram that this layer is conjunctiva. Fine. Now let us see what conjunctiva does. Conjunctiva is a clear and thin membrane. Very thin layer, that is called membrane, very thin layer which acts for like protection cover or what. Conjunctiva is a clear thin membrane It also protects the eye from an infection or damage. Its work is to protect it from any infection or any kind of damage. It covers up the frontal surface of the eye. Fine, it covers the frontal surface of the eye and also the inner surface of the eyelid. These are the eyelids, and inner surface of the eyelids is also protected by conjunctiva. It keeps the eye moist and lubricated. Through conjunctiva, the eyeballs and eyelids are moist, humid, no? And also lubricated, means they can move easily. When something is not working, we can add lubricants. We add lubricants, no? So for the eye, lubrication is done by the layer of conjunctiva. Because of this, the opening and closing of the eyelids become easy without irritability. Through because of conjunctiva, the eyes are closed and opened very smoothly without any irritation. Fine, if there is any particle inside our eyes, it feels very irritating, no? So if it becomes dry, so it is very irritable for closing and opening the eye. So conjunctiva is playing a very important role for making the eyes opening and closing very easy and without irritability. So this is conjunctiva. Now moving forward, third is cornea. So it is cornea. You can see the diagram. The outermost part is cornea. Now cornea, here is lens, and before the lens cornea is there. Cornea lets the light to enter into the eye. What does cornea do? Cornea helps the light to enter into the eye, inside the eye. It is the outer and transparent covering of the eye. It is the outer and transparent, means the objects can pass through. Fine. Light can pass through. It is transparent. We can see through it. So it is transparent. It is outer and transparent covering of the eye. The cornea functions as a lens. Because the eyeball is rounded, it bends or we can say refracts the light. Fine. So what is the function of this cornea? It is rounded and it is bent, and because of this, light is refracted inside the eye. It is pushed or it is scattered in a certain angle, refracts light. So this is cornea. Fine, you can see it is covered, so it is covering, outer covering. Next is iris. So this is the iris. It is the colored part of the eye. This is the colored part. Some people have green iris. Some people have green iris. Some people have blue iris. Some have black and some have brown color. So it is the colored part of the eye. It helps to control the amount of light entering the eye. This is like the aperture of the camera. Have you seen the aperture of camera? Camera, when it wants the light to enter, some covering like aperture, it opens up, and when the light has been captured, it is closed. So iris works like that. The amount of light it wants to get into the eye, that much it opens up, and when it doesn't want to the light to come inside the eye, it is very much contracted. Fine. So it is the colored part of the eye, this iris. It helps to control the amount of light entering the eye. In bright light, the iris contracts the pupil to let in less light. Fine. Have you seen the dilated pupil? This black portion, when it gets dilated or spreaded out, what happens? Much light is inside, gets inside our eye, and when it is contracted, very much less light can enter into our eyes. Fine. So this is what, in bright light the iris contracts the pupil and let in less light. Fine. Now moving forward, fifth is pupil. This is the black portion inside the iris is pupil. Pupil is the center part and it is also the opening in the center iris. The most central part of the iris is pupil and it is also the center part of the eye. It is black in color. This is because there is a reason why it is black. It is black because light could not reflect back. That passes through the pupil and absorbed by the retina. If it is not black or if it is transparent, the light which is captured inside can go back and there will be no image formation on the retina. So to form the image onto the retina, it is very important the light which is entered into the eye should be inside. No? So this is the work of the pupil. Fine. And it is black in color to protect that light. Fine. This is because the light could not reflect back that passes through the pupil and is absorbed by the retina. Pupil allows light to enter the eye. Then it is focused on the retina and we can see. Clear? Light is entered through this pupil and it is passed through the lenses and then up to the retina so that an image is formed. Pupil is the aperture of the eye which is opened and closed according to the light. The iris controls the side of this aperture. Fine. Aperture means an opening through which something can enter. This is the aperture of the eye or the opening of the eye through which the light can enter. And how the size of this pupil is controlled? Through the iris. You can see the diagram going back into the video. You can find the diagram of iris. And if you want to see the wholesome diagram, you can go on to the first slide and see. Then lenses. In the diagram you can see behind this cornea there is a lens situated. What does the lens do? It focuses. Fine. In the eyes, lenses allow the eye to focus on either near or distant objects. Fine. Here also the lenses are focusing on either near or distant objects. What do you do with the lens, like magnifying glass or the glasses which we wear? It is the work of the lenses to focus on the objects we want to see. Do we adjust the focal length with the help of the magnifying glass? Yeah. And in the glasses also, doctor, what does she do or he do? He does that, adjust the focal length and then prepare and give you the number of the glasses you wear. Fine. So here also in eyes, lenses allow the eye to focus either on the near or distant objects. Ciliary muscles surround the lenses. Fine. These lenses are surrounded by the ciliary muscles. So it is quite natural that when something is situated over here like lenses, there must be some system or some organ which can hold it. Fine. So who are holding this lens? Ciliary muscles are surrounding these lenses. Fine. When the ciliary muscles relax to flatten the lenses, distant objects are imaged, and contraction to thicken the lenses results in imaging close-up objects. What does that mean? That the lenses. Fine. Here ciliary muscles are holding up this lens. This is clear. Now when these muscles will relax, what will happen? It will be in the natural position, it will be relaxed. So what will happen? The lens will be flattened. The lens will become flat. Fine. How? Now see in the diagram, this is the lens. Ciliary muscles is holding from here and here. When these muscles will be relaxed, it will be pushed here and here. Fine, they will be pushed. Now if they are pushed here, with this part of lens is also pushed over here and here. So what will be the position? The lens will be flattened, isn't it? So distant objects can be seen like this. And contraction or thicken the lenses means the ciliary muscles, when it will be contracted, what will happen? The lenses will become thickened. Results, imaging close-up objects. Fine, we will see the close objects. So these are lenses. So in the diagram you can see there is an object. Through the lenses it is passing and the image is forming on the retina and it is adjusted accordingly. Fine, if this object is placed far away, the lenses will be flattened and we can see the far objects, and if it is placed very closer, the lenses will be thickened and we can see the near objects also. Clear? Now moving forward, retina, very important thing. In the diagram you can see the grey portion, this whole layer is of retina. Inside the eye at the back there lies a layer of tissues called retina. What is retina? It is a layering of tissue that is called retina. It is located near the optic nerve. Fine, it is located near the optic nerve. This is optic nerve. In the further slides we can see. After the lenses focus light, this is the lens, and when it will be focusing light, retina receives this light. Who will receive this light? Retina will receive this light. It also converts this light into neural signals. What is the work of the retina? It is very important. First of all, capturing the light and then converting this light into neural signals. What do you mean by neural signals? You all know we are having nervous system. Nervous system is based on the neurons. Neurons are the tissues which can capture the signals and pass them on to the destination, that is brain. Fine. So the neural signals means the signals which are generated by the retina for the brain are carried through the optic nerves. Fine, the neural signals, and sends them to the brain for recognition of whatever is visualized. And who captures them? Optic nerves. The nerves, fine, I have neurons, fine, they are capturing the signals. What signals? Neural signals. Who are generating neural signals? Retina is generating neural signals. And how it is generating? Because it is converting the light which is captured through the outside world. Fine. So let's read it out once more. Inside eye at the back there is a lining of layer of tissues called retina. It is located near the optic nerve. After the lenses focus light, retina receives this light. It also converts the light into neural signals and sends them to the brain for recognition of whatever is visualized. Clear? Now moving forward, aqueous humor. Now in the diagram you can see this is cornea, this is aqueous humor, this is lens. Means behind cornea and before lenses aqueous humor is filled. The aqueous humor shapes up the cornea. Now this is a liquid which is filled inside this, and why it is filled here? To keep up the shape of this cornea, to maintain the shape of the cornea. It also nourishes the eye. The work of this aqueous humor to provide nourishment to the eye, keep up the shape of the cornea. Aqueous humor lies beneath cornea. It is composed of similar components of blood plasma. The components which are composing blood plasma are present in this aqueous humor. It is a liquid which works in keeping up the shape of the cornea plus providing nourishment to the eye. Fine. Now moving forward, vitreous humor. Now this is cornea, this is aqueous humor, this is lens. Now this is vitreous humor filled, this is retina. Fine. So vitreous humor is filled inside it. Now what does it do? Vitreous humor is a liquid similar to gel. It is a gel-like liquid. It is filled in eyeball behind the lenses, as you can see in the diagram. It supports the shape of the eye. Fine. The eye can maintain its natural round shape with the help of this vitreous humor. It supports the shape of the eye and transmits the light to the retina. Light is transmitted through this liquid to the retina. Vitreous humor helps in absorbing shocks caused to the eye. If eyes get some shock or some shake, all the shock and shake is absorbed by this vitreous humor in order to keep the eye damage free. It also maintains to keep the retina properly connected to the back wall of the eye. Fine. Now retina, you can see in the first diagram, you can go and see how retina is placed in the form of a layer in between of other layers. Fine. Suppose there is no vitreous humor and some shock is first of all, without this thing the eye will not keep up in the shape. Fine. And if there is a serious damage, the retina will be detached from the other layers and there will be a loss in vision. So with the help of this vitreous humor, that shocks are absorbed if any caused any. Fine. If any shock is caused, it is absorbed by the vitreous humor. As a result, the retina is connected to the back wall of the eye in order to keep everything in line and to make the visualization process happen. Clear, students? It is a transparent substance, vitreous humor we are talking about, made up of 99% of water and remaining is a mixture of collagen, proteins, salts and sugars. Fine. Whatever we eat, fine. So 99% of water and 1% of these substances make up this vitreous humor. Is that clear? Now moving forward comes macula. In the diagram of eye, you can see this is cornea, this is aqueous humor, this is lens, this is vitreous humor, this is retina. And on the retina, you can see there is a portion, pit-like portion, that is wholly called macula, and inside macula there is a fovea. So fovea we are going to study in the coming slide, and right now we are going to study this whole macula. You can see the macula is a part of the central retina. Central part is macula. Macula gives us clear vision. Very clear vision is provided by this pit, and the ability to see fine detail and in color. Fine. Whatever we can see, very minute and very colored with differentiation, that is because of this macula. At the macula, most important images are created before being sent to the brain. Fine. Brain can analyze, brain can generate, and brain can recognize whatever it sees. If there is no clearance in vision, the brain can't respond that perfectly. So that is macula, which provides the brain very clear visions. Fine, students. Moving forward, this is fovea. Fine. In the diagram, recently I have shown you that inside a macula center is fovea. Fine. The fovea is a small central pit. It is located in the center of macula of the retina. Fine. It is consist of dense cone cells. Fine. Conical cells are there. In the first diagram we have shown you what are cone cells. So in a dense quantity cone cells are present inside the fovea. Due to fovea, humans can get sharp central vision. Fine. Foveal vision is necessary for humans activities like reading, driving, etc. Very, very clear, very, very precise, very, very perfect vision is provided by this fovea due to the cells, cone cells, which are densely placed inside this fovea, and this kind of vision is called foveal vision. In the activities which include precision is provided by the foveal vision. Moving forward, blind spot. Fine. So you have seen the eyes diagram: cornea, aqueous humor, lens, vitreous humor, retina. On the retina, macula and fovea we have seen. Now blind spot. Fine. Near the optic, this is optic nerve, on the head of the optic nerve. So blind spot is the area of retina where the optic nerves enters the eye. Now why optic nerves are entering the eye? In order to capture the neural signals generated by the retina. So blind spot, as you can see in the diagram, this is the optic nerve and this is blind spot, is the area of retina where optic nerves enters the eye. Fine. So blind spot is the area of retina where the optic nerve enter the eye. Fine. This is the optic nerve and this is retina and this is blind spot. It is the small area of retina insensitive to light. Fine. This is the small area of retina insensitive to light. Means it can't capture, it can't respond to the light. If an image is formed at the blind spot in the eye, it is not visible by the eye. Fine. If any image is formed on the blind spot, that is why it is named as blind spot, because it is insensitive to light. And if any image is formed here, it is not visible by the eye because there is no light sensitive cells like rods and cones in this region. Fine. In contrast with the fovea, inside the fovea there is a densely located, situated what? Cone cells. But in the blind spot, there are no cone cells, no light sensitive rods or cone cells. That is why it is insensitive to light. Fine. So this is blind spot. Moving forward, optic nerve. Now this is optic nerve. Fine. The whole diagram is here. Now you can see this is retina, this is fovea. Here is blind spot and here is optic nerve. The optic nerve is the second cranial nerve. So what is cranial nerve? Cranial means related to the cranium or skull. What do you mean by this? Means the part of the brain which is able to respond to the neural signals of the eye or vision system or ocular system, that part is having some kind of nerves. That nerve is optic nerve, called optic nerve, and this optic nerve is second cranial nerve. This you will be getting more clearly when you will be studying the brain with us. Fine. Optic nerve transmits sensory information for vision from retina to the vision center of the brain. So what is the work of this optic nerve? To catch neural signals from the eye and send or transmit to the brain. Fine. Reading it. Optic nerve transmits sensory information for vision from the retina to the vision centers of the brain through electrical impulses for the completion of visual process. Fine. Now for this electrical impulse, this term I want to explain something. As I have told you previously that what are nerve cells, neurons. Neurons are the cells which can transmit the electrical signals through them. Fine. Now whatever information or signals are generated by the eye are transmitted in the form of electrical impulses through these cells to the brain. Fine. So like this we are using, why? That is why we are using the term electrical impulse here. Fine. So optic nerve transmits sensory information for vision from the retina to the vision center of the brain through electrical impulses for the completion of visual process. Clear? Now moving forward, this is the whole diagram of how do we see. So very systematically we have completed the eye or the ocular system, but it is not completed if we won't understand that how do we see. So this is the process. In the center is eye. Here on the right side there is an object, and on the left side there is a brain. So what happens when an object reflects the light, or when light is reflected from the object into the eye, an image is formed which is not straight. Inverse image is formed on the retina, and it is transmitted in the form of electrical impulses through nerve cells to the brain's eye center, and here the image is made straight and the vision is completed. Fine. This is brain. Straight image reconstruction in brain takes place here. This is the image on retina, and this is the object, and this is the light. Now see, when light reaches onto the retina, it activates the rod and cones. The cells which you can see in the first diagram, the rods and cones, they are activated because of light, because they are sensitive and they are receptors of light. So they are activated when light enters to the eye. Then nerves carry signal from retina to the back of the eye to the optic nerve. Now this is these are, you can see, here signals are sent to the optic nerve, then optic nerves carry these signals to the brain, where these are converted into images. The part of the brain that processes visual input and interprets the images that the eye sends is called visual cortex. Now the part of the brain is called visual cortex, which can see. Fine, students. Now this is how the ocular system works. Now for a revision, you can see, go back into the video from the very first slide. You can see the composite eye diagram. Then step by step we have taken all the parts of the eye and their work, their composition, their constitution, and finally we have seen how the ocular system works and how the brain interprets. Fine, students. So this is how we are concluding this topic, and tell me how do you like it in the comment box. Thank you very much.